This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Almost lost track there.
Yeah.
Almost lost track.
Feeling
We're
good. Tori's
halfway
down
there.
here showing me shower lamps.
Oh,
Already feeling
beautiful.
relaxed.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're waterproof and rechargeable, and you just touch them, and there's a dim little beautiful glow in your shower.
Oh, cool. Electronics in the shower.
Yeah, it is waterproof. It is waterproof.
Learn something new every day. Al schooled me to some rap lyrics that I wasn't.
Yeah. 15 years later.
I don't, we can't even share it.
Yeah, we
can't even share it. I thought it was a different body part. Turns out it was a different body part. And
But we're all body inclusive, so it doesn't matter.
and we all like milkshakes. All right, there you go. There's your little hint. All right, Billy Baldwin is calling out Sharon Stone's allegations that producer and studio executive Robert Evans pressured her to sleep with Billy while working on the movie Sliver back in the 90s. Remember that movie?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Here's what she said on a podcast about it. Take a listen.
And he's running around his office in his sunglasses, explaining to me that he slept with Ava Gardner and I should sleep with Billy Baldwin. Because if I slept with Billy Baldwin's performance would get better.
All right, Sharon said the producer told her that if they slept together, they'd have better chemistry on screen and it would, quote unquote, save the movie. Billy posted a picture from the movie with a lengthy caption that says, quote, "Not sure why Sharon Stone keeps talking about me all these years later. Does she still have a crush on me? Or is she still hurt after all these years because I shunned her advances? Wonder if I should write a book and tell the many, many disturbing, kinky, and unprofessional tales about Sharon." Nothing like 40-year-old beef, huh?
Nothing like a photo that's like, he could have just posted that photo.
Was
and
that photo
probably
a
said-
warning?
That photo was a shot fired.
Can we
Yes.
see? I didn't get this. Oh.
Yeah, that's a
No, it's-
power.
Okay, let's take it back down.
It's from, yeah, that's from the-
Dynamic.
That's from the movie Sliver. Yeah,
Yes,
just making
yeah.
sure people know.
But I mean, if you're going to recount something and there's other players involved, that he has just as much of a right to talk about it from his perspective as she has.
What do you think
to
her
bring it up.
motivation for doing that was?
I think sometimes people are looking for attention. Sometimes people are just answering a question. So she was in a podcast having a conversation about her very long history in Hollywood, and people ask questions, and either you're going to be transparent and talk about things from your perspective or you're not. But you have to acknowledge that people have other sides to the story.
Yeah, there's consequences to what you're saying. I want to be really careful here, but Sharon Stone has said several things in the past 5 to 10 years about her movie sexual scenes that have been brought into question about the truth about them and behind the scenes. So for instance, she spoke about being sort of abused emotionally during that famous Basic Instinct scene. We all know what we're talking about. I don't need to go into it. Her legs are crossed. Yeah. She claimed the director told her that it would never be seen, but the white of her underwear was making the camera glare, and that they need to take it off, but you wouldn't see anything. She said, I was never informed that you would see anything. And she said when she saw it in screening, she went up to the director's room, found the director, and slapped him across the face. All of that has been refuted by cameramen, by other people. So I'm not trying to say she can't have her story. I've learned that from Erica. But there's a weird pattern here where people have refuted her story about what happened in the first place. So I just want to put that into context.
I'll say this, knowing none of the players involved. The producer, Robert Evans, made Rosemary's Baby, famous producer. He actually had a documentary on HBO probably 10, 15 years ago called The Kid Stays in the Picture.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy.
Very.
Okay, so that story tracks. It tracks if you watch that documentary.
Tracks in whose favor?
In terms of Robert, I could see Robert Evans saying that he slept with Ava Gardner. I could definitely say that.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, again, it was a different time, right? I think something like that would have been told and be like, I don't feel like doing that. But I don't think it would have been as crazy as it is today.
That's a good point.
But this is also not like someone's indicting someone.
Right.
They're just telling their sides of the story. So I'm hesitant to be like, well, she was 100% lying or he's 100% telling the truth. I mean, the idea that a director would say, hey, remove your underwear because it's this for the shot. I've been on a set where I was told, like, okay, if you take these photos, you can kind of see, like, something that I'm not trying to show in a catalog.
Right.
And I had an older woman who was doing my makeup step in and be like, honey, don't do this because there's no guarantee that they're going to censor that out or where these photos can go.
Right. Wow.
So it goes from something very innocent to all of a sudden someone's suggesting something to a 21-year-old girl on set that you should do this, and there's no advocacy. So I can see both sides.
Me too. And
those
right. And the
things
director said none of that happened. So it's like, it's just a murky area. And again, I don't know why she brought this back up. Maybe the Oscars were there and she felt she wanted some attention, and maybe she felt, I don't know, but everybody's allowed their own story.
Interesting. And so is that Bob Evans movie.
Yeah.
He narrates it himself,
yes,
too.
it's
very interesting, very interesting. Check it out. All right, so moms in Hollywood are opening up about how having kids has affected their careers. Singer Lily Allen was on a podcast recently talking about her kids and her career. Let's take a listen.
My children ruined my career. It really annoys me when people say you can have it all, because quite frankly you can't. And you know, some people choose their career over their children, and that's their prerogative. But you know, my parents were quite absent when I was a kid, and I feel like that really left some like nasty scars that I'm not willing to, you know, to repeat.
So based on Lily's comments, yesterday on The View, the host discussed whether women can have both success in their careers and in motherhood at the same time. Here's what Whoopi said about it.
My kid came before my career, and I chose my career because I knew this would never happen again. She didn't always like it, but that is the process of being a parent. They're not supposed to like everything.
You were shaking your head a little bit, Erica. What do you think about that?
Actually, I had this conversation. Well, I've been having this conversation with Sam Shocker, our other co-host, because she made decisions to become a mom like closer to 40 or when she was 40. And I'm 43 and I'm very deep in my IVF journey. So this is a possibility for me. And so many people have said so many things to me, inflicting what they believe is the right way to become a mother. And I know that there's so many different ways to become a mother, and it might just be a timing issue for everyone. But I had so much financial or insecurity, job insecurity, PTSD, and I was the breadwinner for a very long time in my life that I chose my career over becoming a mother. And then when I found out that there was an issue, that became a greater issue. However, I found out that I had fertility issues, and we were able to do something about that, which is only because I'm trying to become a mother now versus 20 years ago when I wouldn't have been able to do anything about that. So when we have these conversations, I think it's so important to listen to each other, because everyone's story is so unique to their own experiences, and it should work out for them. So I respect people who decided to become mothers very early on, and women who are now trying to figure out their paths in their professional life. But for me, it was my professional life, and now I'll try to have children. But I'm going to figure out a way in order to balance those two things that works best for me and my family, and I think that's what everyone should do for themselves.
I think that's beautifully said. I also am someone that was extremely ambitious about my career, and I didn't even think about children until much, much, much later. I went through my own IVF process. We still don't know what we're doing. I'm 42. We have to make that decision, and it's a very time-ticking decision. I mean, the clock is ticking. So I'm with you on that I also want to have both, but I hear a lot of opinions, and you have to do a very good job of discerning what to keep out and what advice you take in.
It's super easy because none of those opinions contributed to any of those IVF costs.
That's true. That's very true.
So
that's
there.
very true.
Got very Marissa Tomei vibes down there.
I got the thing clicking like this.
All right, coming up on DBL, our interview with Mandy Moore. Does she have a project in the works with some of her This Is Us co-stars? And Lori Loughlin makes an appearance on Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's right, we're talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yay!
Stick around. That doesn't look like Mama Gate anymore.
Yes. I
it's a
think
different
that
country club.
when I really believe in the power of manifestation, even when there's trials and tribulations, if there's something that you have seen for yourself and you actively go for it, I do believe that you can get it. And for me, it's been this fertility journey because I'm finally in a place in my life where I feel secure enough to know that I won't have to go about this completely alone and we can have some support. So I think for me, I could see how my life would have been a lot different if I would have had children very early on. I didn't have the type of support to continue on with my career, and now I do. So am I gonna be the oldest mother at the playground?
I'll be with you.
I'm like, yeah, but also, will I look like the oldest mother? No, I won't.
I think a lot of people do have also maturity issues. I know I was a late bloomer and I wasn't mature enough to have a child because I wasn't able to take care of myself the right way.
Think about our parents,
dude.
You know, our parents had you talk to aunts and uncles. They were like, I had 23 when I had your uncle, and you're like,
So
23.
young.
I was like
a puppy.
mentally I was 14.
Of course, we were doing
Another
damaging
thing
things.
that I agree with, people don't think about this. We both grew up in arenas where you're in entertainment, right? Yep. There's a lot of stage moms and people who want their children, who want to live vicariously through their children.
That's true.
My mother was not like that. Your mother was not like that. But I didn't want to become a mother like that. And I could see how if my dreams were never realized,
You would put it on a bit.
how easily that could happen.
Good for you.
And
to be
I
honest
didn't
with
want
yourself.
that to happen.
It's a beautiful thing to be
You
honest.
see that in sports a lot.
30 seconds.
Welcome back. Lori Loughlin was in the latest episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's the final season on HBO. I don't know, maybe check it out. In the episode, Lori is a golfer who was being blackballed from LA country clubs because of her role in the 2019 college admissions scandal, right? We all know about it. Larry gets her into the club, but she ends up cheating on the golf course and lies to get it handicap privileges, among other things. Let's watch.
You know, we probably shouldn't take a cart today because it's cart paths only. We can't go on the fairway because they punch the fairway.
Oh, no problem. I got this. Yeah, got the blue flag. We can drive anywhere. We can even drive right up to the green.
Wait a second. You got to have a doctor's note to get one of those.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have Epstein-Barr.
You have Epstein-Barr?
One hematologist thinks so.
So just to catch you up, it's been 5 years since Lori and her husband were charged for paying $500,000 to get their two daughters into USC as crew recruits. Who cares about that? Tori, you're a fan of Curb, as am I.
I texted you right away.
Larry does this a lot with people who've kind of been shunned from society. He did it with Michael Richards.
That's right.
He did
That's
it,
right.
and now Lori Loughlin,
God.
and she leans into the character.
It was so funny. She cheats on everything. She cheats, and he goes, "You got handicap parking?" She goes, "Eh." The idea, the one thing is that my coffee?
Is that what's happening
I
here?
think my coffee.
I was like, why do I have two cups and why is one hot? All right, my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
No worries.
I was very
I
confused.
just have to say, when we talked about Lori Loughlin, or Laughlin, whatever, she was sentenced to 2 months in prison. She was fined $150,000. She had 100 hours of community service. I said, after she serves her time, you gotta go on SNL. The best thing to do is make fun of this. And she did it just with Curb. It was a hysterical episode. It made me love her again. She served her time. She was great in it. I mean, what did you think? I thought it was great.
I like when people lean into it. People make mistakes, right?
Totally.
People make mistakes. But in Lori's case, come on, whatever. I'm not even going to go on that road. She faced it. She did her time.
That's right.
Now she's making fun of herself in a very satirical way.
In a good way, too. She was good.
Yeah, she's mean on the show,
Totally.
right? You want to have this great image of yourself as Aunt Becky, or in all of her Christmas movies she does.
Totally.
She leans into that hate and does it, and Larry's great at kind of highlighting that in people.
You know, and that's, because I'm of two minds of this. One, like, you got to lean into it. This is like, I don't believe in throwing people away. I've said that a lot on the show. But at the same time, like, we'll never know the amount of people that were affected by something like this. If you didn't get that spot, that sent your life on a totally different trajectory.
Right.
And so I'm between those two minds. But then I kept thinking, this was a system that was in place. Lori Loughlin wasn't the godmother of this, the Griselda of the She was just a person trying to use her privilege to get her kid in somewhere. No different than, in her mind, than getting them into summer camp or into an exclusive, resort. So, I'm glad that we have a society, an on-ramp to come back into society, because I don't think people should be shunned, but I just hope the same courtesy is extended to a lot of people.
Well, also the timing. I think that it was just enough time because the sentiment on higher education has changed completely since she was first brought into the spotlight.
Yeah, very good point. And again, she took a picture of her kid pretending to row, so she did her time. She messed up, but I loved what she did.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Coming up on DBL, we're talking with Mandy Moore all about her latest role as an outlaw country music pioneer.
Welcome back. They were known as the Outlaws, a small group of artists who fought for and won their creative freedom in Nashville in the 1970s. And now Mandy Moore is helping to tell their story of a woman at the center of it all. Earlier, we spoke with her all about it. Check it out.
Mandy, welcome back to DBL. All right, so we were all just talking about the Oscars for quite some time, and your old co-star Sterling K. Brown was nominated. What's it like seeing him nominated for his first Academy Award? Although I know you didn't even watch the awards, right?
I didn't. I have two little ones, and my husband's on tour. He's a musician, so I was solo parenting, so not a lot of time to watch the Oscars, but I'm thrilled for Sterling. I remember like the day the announcements were made. I was like the first one in the This Is Us group chat, like SKB, like, I mean, the first of many for him, let's be honest. I'm sure before it's all said and done, he will have like a mantle full of all of the Oscars, but I'm so thrilled for him. I love that performance. I loved that movie. I was so glad that he was recognized. Very much deserved.
Absolutely deserved. Now you, speaking of being deserved, you're playing music trailblazer Sue Brewer in this outlaw country music series. And let's be honest, it was a little bit of a boys club, right? With legends like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. Not a good impression, apology. But what did Sue bring to the group? Talk to me about Sue.
Yeah, so our Audible original, The Boar's Nest, is all about Sue Brewer, who's sort of this unsung hero of the outlaw country music scene. She opened up quite literally her home and her living room floor, which was affectionately called The Boar's Nest, for artists like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson, Shel Silverstein, to all sort of convene. And this was back before any of them were famous, and so this was like a space for them to feel safe, to sort of hone their craft, to feel vulnerable enough to like expose themselves, talk about like you know what was happening in their lives, and crafting these songs. And Sue really needled them and pushed them and helped them kind of become who they were. And her story is often unknown, and she's uncredited. In fact, it was only once she passed away, she was posthumously honored by the Songwriters Hall of Fame in Nashville. She's the only person inducted who wasn't an actual songwriter herself, but I think it just speaks to her contribution to that particular scene, because she gave them that space, she gave them the leeway to be themselves and become who they ultimately became.
Wow. Shel Silverstein wrote A Boy Named Sue.
Absolutely.
Johnny Cash
I remember those books.
Right.
Yes, for sure. I mean, you know, you kind of just went through the list. There were so many legends that came out of the Outlaws. Now, were there any stories that surprised you about them?
I think all of them, and sort of their crippling struggles with like identity and who they were, and having to sort of like someone like Sue having to lead the charge, and like you have to trust that you know what you're doing. You have to trust that like your lane is the right lane to be in, when all of these outside influences from record labels and other artists and stuff were trying to steer people like Waylon or Willie into like different avenues. And I love that this was a single woman who was working multiple jobs, who truly just did this for the passion of music and the music scene, and she wanted to be involved and invested in some way, and this was her contribution.
Yeah. So Mandy, this series is all about the Boar's Nest, which was actually Sue's living room where people came to play their songs, a creative space, if you will. Is there a certain place in your house where you find inspiration?
Yeah, we actually just moved, and my husband created like a little studio space outside of the house, and that is a space now that I'm determined to be creative in. I'm like, I have no excuse, I have no reason to like procrastinate. It's literally in the backyard, and it'll be fun to like put the boys down, take the baby monitor over, and like go and be creative with my husband and make some music, even if it's just for us.
It's amazing. Big Dawes fan, by the way. Just had to shout it out right here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry, that's her husband.
Mandy, before you go, we started talking about SKP, who of course was your This Is Us co-star, but you recently got together with a couple of your co-stars. Is there a project happening that we should know about?
Come on, Mandy. Spill it.
Reach for that tea.
Stay tuned. Look, we are family forever. We worked together for almost 7 years, and I feel like any excuse, I mean, look, it's like any excuse to get together with these two dudes, like, and to be in the same room with them is just a blast. And it's like no time has passed at all. So I feel like we will find a way to do stuff together. In what capacity exactly, I'm not sure, but I have no doubt it'll sort of come to fruition very soon.
So you're saying there's a chance. We can run with it, guys.
Like very soon.
Mandy, thank you so much for being here. DBL Nation, you can listen to The Boar's Nest starting March 14th on Audible or through Amazon Prime. Thank you again. Congratulations.
Can't wait.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Welcome back. We all need a little me time, am I right? And a new study shows that over 50% of women take a shower when they need to unwind. And get this, 2 out of 3 women say they feel a boost of confidence that lasts for hours after they're done showering. So do people have a place in their home that's go-to? My wife's a bath person.
Oh, really?
And that's her little sanctuary. She likes to take a bath.
You keep the boys away from the bath?
Yeah. I'm a sauna guy for sure. How about you? Do you have anyone anywhere?
I like to hang upside down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The inversion table.
How long do you go up? How long could you
go
do that for?
I made it to 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you start getting dizzy?
No, it's really great. I do like the sound bowls, and it's supposed to like your chakra and the lymphatic, whatever. And I come up, and it's like, whoo.
What if you just walked downstairs to Erica's basement and she was just hanging upside down listening to sound bites?
I'd be like, that's totally
I would just
normal.
back out of the basement.
That's why she
get
looks
in my
like
car.
that.
Yeah.
I would start doing it. All right. If you need more me time, Jacuzzi can help. If you want to start your bathroom remodel, Jacuzzi can help you do it the right way. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. Call 800-990-3709 or visit jacuzzibathremodel.com. Tori, you got a special place you like to go to?
I like to go in the shower in the dark, and I bought a waterproof lamp specifically for the shower.
Oh, too bad we're out of time. I'd like to hear more. We'll see you tomorrow.